Welcome to the Q by Q5 training presentation, Part 1. This part is going to be a simple overview of the main load setup screen. This screen is used when planning a new load or making changes to an existing one, and it's the first thing you see when running the program. Today we'll review how to put together a simple load, plan it, and view the results. First, let me explain some of the terminology we have in Q by Q. A load is a shipment or order that you need to plan out. It consists of one or more containers and one or more products. A container is anything which will carry the load. For example, this could be a 40-foot dry cargo, rail car, truck, ULD, or even just cartons going on a small delivery truck. And product is the item we are loading. You may prefer the term SKU or perhaps package, but in any case it refers to items that are to be loaded into the container. Let's get started. There are really just three things to do when building a load from scratch. The first thing is to create the load, and that is what this button up here does, marked New. A single click gives us a new record in the loads database, and then up here we propose that you enter a name for the load. This name can be anything. For instance, it could be a customer ID or a destination, or maybe a PO number, anything that's meaningful to you, but it needs to be unique within the program. If you enter a name that already exists, you will get a warning and you'll need to try again. So for today, we'll use this unique ID. Click Save and the load is entered into the database. Now we need to decide is what we're loading into, so we need to pick some containers. The easiest way is to right-click anywhere in this top grid and choose Select Containers. This will pop up a list of all the containers available in the system. Now of course you'll know which containers you can use for the load, and a single click puts them on the right-hand side, and clicking OK loads them into the grid. OK, we have this container ready to be used when we build the load. You'll notice there is a quantity here of 1. This means there is only one container available. Obviously, if you are building a very large load with a lot of cartons or pallets, you will effectively have a great deal of containers available, and you can just key in high values for the quantity. The sequence number is something we'll discuss in a later session, but it should be left with its default value of 1 for the moment. Once we have got our container in place, we need to look at which particular products need to go in this load, and again, the easy way is a right-click anywhere in this grid to select them. You'll see the pop-up list of products. In this case, there are just 4 available in the sample database, so I'm going to choose all 4. Single-click each one, and then they move into the Selected column. If there is a product in there that you don't want to load, another click sends it back to the Available column on the left. But let's put them all in. Click OK. Here they all are listed 1 to 4, and at the moment they are given a default quantity of 1. Meaning there is just 1 of each item to be shipped. So let's just key in higher numbers and have a look at how the loading works. We'll just put some random numbers in right now. Looking at the columns in the product grid, product is obviously your SKU or product ID. Quantity is how many of these products you would like to have loaded into the container. These numbers would usually have come from your shipment details or order. The next column is how many products the system has managed to fit into the container. This is blank at the moment because we haven't actually told the system to go ahead and make the load. And the next column along shows us how many products were not loaded. Again, this won't be updated until we have built the load, which we will do next. So in summary, we have the load ID, we have chosen 1 or more containers to fill, we have chosen 1 or more products here, and we have set up our quantities. That is all you need for a basic load in Q by Q. The next step is to obviously get it built, and this is where we use the Optimize button. Simply single-click the button and it opens a small dialog box showing you that the optimizer is now planning the load for you, and it is trying to get as much as it can into the container. It just takes a few seconds to optimize and store the load, and then the screen will update to show the results. There was quite a good mixture of products. We have a stable looking load and it's pretty full. You'll see from the loaded column here that all the quantities match, and that means everything has been loaded. The graphic on the lower right shows you the placement of the products on board the container. Down here you can see some quite useful information. For instance, you can see the volume of product we have loaded, and it's also expressed as a percentage of the internal volume of the container. The loaded weight is shown similarly. This is the weight of the product, and also expressed here as a percentage of the container's overall weight capacity. In our case, we're loading very light products, so it's nowhere near the weight limit of the container. But obviously, if we're loading very heavy products, then this percentage would go right up. At some point, we would stop loading as we would never go over 100% weight utilization. It's a hard limit. Once we have got the load built like this, we can take a look at it in more detail in what we call the load plan. The load plan is a useful screen just for evaluating the quality of the results. You have a very controllable graphic here which is scaled up so you can see exactly how the load has been put together from all angles. You can actually skip the specific views of the load using the viewing cube by clicking its sides, faces, or corners. If we skip through, we can effectively turn it 360 degrees, and you can view it from any angle in between. The other nice thing about this screen is that you can effectively unload and reload the container in steps, so you can see exactly how the load is built up from empty to full. Up here on the toolbar, we have 4 buttons that actually control how much is shown in the display. If we click the None button, we empty the container, and now literally step by step you can click forward and see how Q-by-Q has positioned the products in the container. You can see it building up item by item. Every step is physically loadable, and there's no reaching over other products or reaching too far back. Everything is stable and loaded in sequence. The other buttons at the top here just give you some shortcuts to various views. There is the top view, the hard left view, hard right view, and front view. Quad gives you the view of the container from each corner. Finally, default view steps through front left, front right, back left, back right each time you click it. Let's go back to the Load Setup tab for the last part of the presentation today, which is to show you how you can print out one of the reports. We have a reporting section here, and we're going to choose the load plan. A single click on the button brings up a document which shows you exactly how the container is to be loaded step by step. If we page through, you can see each of the colored blocks here refers to a particular step of the loading. So you could send this to the docs so they can follow how the products should be put into the container. All of Q-by-Q5's reports can be printed, saved as PDF, emailed to colleagues, and even translated into a different language using the drop-down language menu right here. We provide a list of predefined languages, or you can add your own translations, which we will look at doing another time. Thank you for watching this demo of Q-by-Q's orientation rules. If you would like any further information, please contact us via email using support@magiclogic.com.